Hey traders, John Howell here. Hope you guys are doing well today. Welcome to today's live stream that I'm doing for you, and I definitely want to cover a lot of things in today's market and what's happened today and what's likely to happen moving forward when it comes to these markets and stuff like that. So that's what I want to cover in today's session, guys. And I'll just quickly walk through what I want to also talk about and what I want to cover in today's video here. Guys, what I want to talk about today is just a recap of what's going on right now in the actual markets itself. I want to talk about silver and gold and a recap there. I want to talk about the death of the leveraged ETFs and what's happening through there. I also want to talk about understanding false breakouts and how to understand those in a way where you can quantify probability of where they're likely to go. So I'm going to talk a lot about that today. And also the US dollar. Is the US dollar forming some form of a topping pattern right now? And then also I'm going to talk about how one of my clients made $200,000 this year alone. Now it wasn't a get rich quick thing, guys, and stuff like that. He did work really hard. He started with a $30,000 trading account and just got an email yesterday. So I'll talk about that as well too. And then I'll go through a Q&A at the end. And so guys, before I do start, guys, do not place a trade based on what you'll see in this session today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of actually making a profit in the market. So be smart around the way that you are dealing with things and the way that you are dealing with the market itself. Okay guys, if you haven't done so yet, then make sure you go down to johnsfreegift.com, where I'm giving away a full complete trading course for you to get ahead in the market. If you're struggling with what's going on right now in the markets, then make sure you head on down to there to grab that free trading course, as that will help you start to move forward in a big way. What I want to do now, guys, is I definitely want to start to, and I want to get into what's going on right now with the actual stock market itself and what's happening here. We can actually see what actually happened today. We had a little bit of a down day today, not much. And so if we're having a look at the picture itself of what's actually going on here right now, when it comes to the indices, we can see firstly, if I blow up the Dow Jones, we can see how the Dow Jones is still below my trend line here. We had a bit of a gap down. We're pretty much holding here. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here moving into next week, and what's going on there, and so it's really interesting what's going on there. Same for the S&P 500 as well too. You can see how we rejected off the trend line today. So again, I want to see if we are going to make that sort of higher low through here, and if we're going to continue moving up. From where we are right now, or are we going to continue down here? And if we do continue down, I see things sort of picking up towards the middle towards the end of this month on the indices, and the same for the Nasdaq. But the Nasdaq is actually well above the trend line, so I expect this whole area down here to be a bit of support for the Nasdaq before it starts to rally from there. Now, one thing, guys, I am definitely, before I continue now into today's session, I definitely want to focus on something, guys, that I don't know, I feel close to my heart right now, and that is about this situation that is going on right now in this market. I didn't actually plan to talk about this in this market update, but I'm going to talk about it here right now. With everything that's happening with the whole coronavirus, and everything that's going on right now in this world, I just want to say that my heart goes out to a lot of you guys, and I really do mean that from a spiritual perspective, because I know right now something in the background, guys, is just not adding up. Something's happening underneath the surface that we just can't put our hands on, or they're not talking about there, guys. And I just want to. I want you to try to make a conscious choice of how you are speaking to yourself and how you're talking to yourself. I did actually put something on my Facebook group just recently, and that is this here. And again, I didn't actually plan to talk about this, but I really care about you guys, and And there's so many people out there that are just really doing it hard. And you got to be really, really careful, guys, of how you speak to yourself. You see, what you tell yourself every day will either build you up or break you down. Choose wisely and be patient with yourself. You're trying your best. We have that there. But then we also have the quote, which is very, very, very important. And that is basically death and life are at death and life and death are at the power of the tongue, and that's obviously from the Bible. Now, I'm not trying to get biblically on you here and stuff like that, guys, but I really, really, really do sense so many people right now they're scared, right? There's a lot of people out there right now that are scared. There's a lot of people out there right now that are worried, like what's going to happen and how's this going to turn out and how long is this going to last, and and they're uncertain and they're fearful, and I want to show you something that I did on my Facebook group, on my Facebook page. If you want to, guys, I'm just going to share this with you here. This is actually my personal Facebook group. If you want to join me, if you want to join my personal Facebook page, and where I talk a lot more about, just all other stuff that I do in my personal life and stuff like that. If you go to facebook.com/John J. Howe, as you can see at the top here, then just add me as a friend, and then I'll add you, and then you'll be able to, stay in touch with me on a personal basis, and you'll be able to get posts like I'm talking about right now. If not, then that's cool. But I want to bring this up. There's a post that I just made just recently before doing this session with you guys. And as you can see here, that it says, in this crazy situation, we must make a conscious choice to speak good things as it will come into your life. What I've been doing over the last few months is at least once a day, I write out 5 things I'm grateful for, 5 to 10 things I love about myself. Self-love, filling my cup up, as Oprah Winfrey says. So I have it to give out. And I have the top goals, and also the top goals I'm focusing on this year. Sending you big, big love in this uncertain and scary times for many. Be kind to yourself. Guys, and yeah, you can see that's what I put down there just 8 minutes ago as I'm doing this session for you guys. And and I did that, guys, because again, I see so many people out there that are so scared about what's going out there right now, and please be careful about the way that you're talking to yourself and the thoughts that are going through your mind, and it's so important to try to overpower those negative thoughts with positive thoughts, and that's why writing stuff down can compound. Nothing will change straight away, but if you write out 5 things you're grateful for every day and you do that for 30 days, you'll be amazed of how you feel about yourself moving forward from there. And that's gonna radiate everything into your life. A lot of people say to me, a lot of people say to me, like, John, how do you stay so positive in a scary time? And I'm just like, because I do these things in the background, and today, I don't know why, but it's actually hit me quite hard today about what's going on right now. And, guys, just be careful the way that you're speaking to yourself and what's going on there, because we will get through this, probably another 30 or so days, or within the next couple of months, we're going to get back to normal. And by the end of this year, things are going to be back on. A true leader, guys, a true leader, a true successful person. Heck, I'll even talk about a true successful trader. What is one of the characteristics of a true successful trader? He has the ability to think rational, to think logical, and to make good decisions under pressure, right? Because that's what a good trader is. Because as you start to get much better as a trader, right, your position sizes go from, $1,000 position size to a $10,000 position size to a $50,000 to a $100,000 and even more. You know what I mean? Like, you just, as a private trader, that is. A hedge fund trader, it's probably likely to be a lot more. But that's one of the characteristics, right? That's one of the characteristics of a successful trader. So right now is a very, 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 very good test of time to see how well you do under pressure. When there's so many uncertainties are happening around you, can you knuckle down and focus to make good decisions while you're trading when everything else seems like it's just collapsing around you? And that's the characteristics of a true leader. That's the characteristics of a true successful trader. Is because guess what? In every time we get into the markets, right, there's a bit of uncertainty there. There's a bit like I'm not sure, and so on and so forth. And sometimes when things are not working out, you've got to think rational, right? You've got to make good decisions under pressure. How are you doing right now with this pressure that's happening right now in this world? Are you continue to watch the news day after day after day? I saw something on YouTube recently, and it had a live video, and a live video was the stats of all the coronavirus, and there was 50,000 people watching it. I'm like, what is that going to do for your life at all? It's only just going to make you more fearful, more scared, and all that sort of stuff. And it's so important that we step up in this world and we lead this world. And do the things that's going to help people move forward. And that's where, like with me, guys, you can see with most of my videos I do, I'm always laughing, I'm positive, I'm uplifting, and I'm still having a good time because I choose to do that, right? Yes, there's a lot of stuff out there, but I choose. You know what? I'm going to choose to try to be happy today. I'm going to put a smile on my face. I'm going to think about the things that I do have and not the things that I don't have. I'm going to really watch my breathing and calm my breathing and do some meditation if I have to calm and get myself into a center place so I can make good decisions under pressure. Because if you can't handle a little bit of a pressure, then you're not made out to be a trader. In fact, 90% of the people that watch my videos are going to keep losing money, and only 10% are going to do well. So let's actually continue now, guys, into the markets here, and let me actually just bring this screen up through here. So once again, guys, the Dow Jones right now is continue to stay well below here. I want to see if this is some form of a higher low, or do we continue down from here? We are starting to build a lot more strength through here. It was like it's starting to build a bit of a base through here. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens next week, but I believe next week we're going to probably, even if we did get a bit of a pullback next week, it's probably going to be the final low of the year. Sorry, the final low of this bottom here before we start to make a nice rally up and out. Same for the Dow Jones once again. The S&P 500. We can see how we continue to hold this trend line through here. Are we going to break up and out? That's going to be really interesting to see, and how that's going to work out there. Also, guys, we can see on the NASDAQ as well too. Also, we can see on the NASDAQ that the NASDAQ has actually broken above it, and now it's actually staying above it right now. So again, guys, there's a lot of positive stuff that's coming out of these markets right now. I mean, from what I'm seeing from a market perspective, and what's going on there. So. It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens here. Do we continue to, if we do start the pop next week, then we can just go with that. Moving on to silver and gold. Right now, gold is still at this sort of resistance level through here. We can see how it's at this sort of conjunction where we are right now. Once we break this level here, guys, then we can start to see a very nice move up in gold. And also looking at silver. Silver had just pretty much a nothing day today. With silver, very, very, very sort of uncertainty through here, holding through here. But once again, guys, I see that there's a lot of strength. There's a lot of strength that's coming into these markets right now. And what I mean by that is that there seems to be a lot more buying pressure at these levels than there has been in quite some time there. So I do see a rally probably starting in the next week or so. And it's probably going to last a few months, I would say, and then we can get back to normal trading there. So that's what I'm seeing through there with the silver and gold there, and what's going on through there. One thing that I want to touch on right now is also the death of the ETFs here. if we have a look here, if we have a look at the GDX, right? This is the GDX through here. This is the GDX, and as you can see, the GDX has been having a very nice move up, and this is a very, very, very big sort of, ETF here. But if we go have a look at, say, some of the actual, this is the GDX here, and this is the GDXJ. But if we go, say, look at the JNUG, which a lot of people like to, the JNUG, as you can see, the JNUG has pretty much done nothing at all for where we are right now. And so what I'm seeing here right now is that there is a lot of, right, there's a lot of different leverage ETFs right now that are almost going to go bust. And you can see that that's what's happening right now. JNUG should be rallying very strongly, but it's not. And so a lot of these leveraged ETFs that are happening right now are probably going to go bust. And there's one here as well too that I know a lot of people like, and that's SPXL. This is also another leveraged. This is 3 times the S&P 500, and even I thought about trading this, and I thought, hang on a minute, no. I want to make sure that everything is good. So if I'm going to trade this 3 times leverage, I'm just going to get into the SPY. SPY is the SPY, QQQs, SLV, GOD, GDX. Those sort of main ETFs are going to be good. But it's the leverage ETFs that's going to be the massive bubble that's going to sort of pop right now, and are going to go to zero. So, which makes me think about what sort of ETFs out there that we don't know about, and a lot of these where we are right now, guys, a lot of these are just going to go complete bust. And one of those things, what I said before, one of those is the JNUG. JNUG has been quite volatile for quite some time, but right now, it's about to go to zero real quick, real quick, as you can see from here. So I wouldn't be in JNUG at all, because you don't know. Tomorrow you can wake up and then it's like, you know what, JNUG is no longer trading. Your position in that is now worth zero. Everything's been zeroed, and you lost every single thing that you actually put in the JNUG. Because it makes sense, right? If you think, especially long term, right? If you think long term that the metals are going to rise long term, then JNUG would be very, very, very good position for there. So, but right now, guys, that's the next bubble that's definitely going to pop underneath the surface that not many people are talking about right now, and that's the death of the leveraged ETFs, not the main ETFs, but the leveraged ones. I hope that makes sense. I also want to talk about, guys, something that we see that I see time and time again, and that is also false breakouts. Let me see if I can do this here. All right, so I'm going to sort of take a screenshot here for a minute, and I'm going to bring this down here. And there is, whenever we start to identify different patterns in the markets, it gives us a probability of where things are likely to go. Okay. So let me talk about false breakouts. There's a couple of different false breakouts. There's one where there's a channel. Okay, so we have a channel through here where the market's gone channeling. So we can have that sort of a false breakout. Now, bullish or bearish, okay? And then we could also have a channel that goes up through here, okay? Like this through here. So if we have a look at let's have a look at the first scenario, is that if the market is giving us a sort of a definite channel, and then it bounces and it breaks down, then that's actually a breakdown out of the channel. Okay, so if we hold here, this is the question: is it a true breakout or a false breakout? We don't know. But if the market holds here for a bit and then gets back above, like we can see here, then guess what? Then that tells us that this was a false breakout, because we're getting back above this resistance level now, which was support, should be resistance. And from that, the target would be the opposite of the channel. That's the target. And then if we break this here, if we break this top of the channel, then what we do is we measure, and I'll do this, say, from a line perspective, we'll measure from the low, from the high of the channel down to the low of the channel. We will project that up. And let me see if I can yeah, we would project that up. Can I make that a lot bigger up there? All right, there we go. Here we go. A bit more. All right, there, cool. Right, we would project that up, and then the target would be we're likely to run to this level here now. So that's where a false breakout can be very, very, very powerful, especially on the downside. A false breakout to the downside, because it can be very powerful of a catapult move, not only to a first target but a second target. And there's always two targets when I see that. The first target, which is like 80% probability, is that we're going to run to the top of this channel here. Okay, and then the second target is we project that out from the high to low up through there. So I'll give you an example of that, and let's have a look. I think it was it? I think it was Tesla. Yeah, I'll give you an example of that. Okay, cool. So let's have a look through here. So we're looking at a weekly chart right now, guys, when it comes to Tesla, okay? Look at this through here. If we have a look at Tesla, what actually happened through here? Right? What happened? We actually had what? We had this resistance level through here, and we had this support level down through here. Notice how this is a strong weekly chart, right? But what actually happened through here? Notice, right? Notice how we had this sideways channel. And then what happened? Then we actually broke out of this channel. We went sideways for a bit. And then guess what? And then we started to get back above this channel. So as soon as we got back above, we would say, okay, now there's two different things. Firstly, the first target would be 380. Once we break 380, then I'm going to draw a trend line from the top of the channel down to the bottom of this channel, and then I'm going to project that up, and that says to me that we should get to around the $500 mark if we break 380, because this false breakout level through here is like the last push to get people short before they make this massive run. So now we've done that there, and as you can see, it took a few weeks, right? So it took a few weeks, but we end up actually breaking that, as you can see. And then we actually went sideways, and we actually continued up a lot further from there. Okay, so if I go back to my daily chart now, you can see what that looks like on the daily chart. But it gives you targets, not of the exact high or the exact low, but it gives you targets of where things are likely to go. So that is the what's the word for it? That's how you determine what a false breakout is. So if we also go and have a look here, now there's also a false breakout to the downside of a channel. Okay, so we have a channel, and when the market runs up through to here, runs down, runs up, we've identified a channel. And then if we break down, this should be a complete breakdown, especially if we come back up, hit it, and then test it as resistance, break back down. We now know this is a very valid trend line. If we do get back above here, this level through here was some form of a false breakout. Once we do that, the first target would be to the high side. And then the same sort of thing would also be true as well too. As in, like, you would get the measuring tool from the bottom to the top of this channel. You would then project that out. And then that there would be the target of where we could go. Right here. That'll be the target of that there. So this is how you see false breakouts in the markets. And that's what's happening with gold right now. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. So if I go back to gold, let me see if I can bring up a candlestick chart here for a minute. If I go back to gold, right, and we can see what's happening here with gold overall, okay? So we can see that we've actually got a very nice channel through here, and this is where gold is right now. So that tells me that firstly, we have this channel. First target will be the top of this channel. Then if we break the top of the channel, we break out, where is it likely to go? So if I measure from the top of the channel down to the bottom of the channel, and then I project this out, that tells me that once we get to the top of the channel, if we can break the top of the channel, then gold is now on its way up to about 1950 in the markets. Right, around that 1950 level. Or if we're looking at that, if we're looking at, say, the actual chart perspective, that's just above the highs through there. So that's where gold is likely to go to from this false breakout. Now, once again, guys, you got to keep watching it. The reason why, you want to see what it does. First target for me right now is definitely the top of the channel. That's where I see this thing going. Then the second target for me would be around 1950. So I think gold's going to soar because 0% interest rates. And so 0% interest rates, guys, and all this printing of money is just going to make gold continue to soar. So I'm very, very, very bullish on gold from a fundamental perspective, but also a technical perspective. It's not a coincidence that we got this false breakout scenario happening right now in gold. And then the last month that they've actually slammed the interest rates down to a zero. So that's what I wanted to share with you there when it comes to sort of the understanding of the false breakouts, guys. And then this is how you can learn this, so you can see this. Again, nothing's permanent in the markets, but we can understand these patterns in the markets. It gives us a very, very, very high probability of what's likely to come. Now, guys, I also want to talk about the US dollar. If I bring up the UUP here right now, actually, let me see if I can bring up, I'll bring this up through to here. Let me bring up the investing.com. Let me see if I can bring up just the DXY. DXY, why doesn't that come up? Why isn't DXY? Dollar index, where are you? Okay, it's not coming up for some reason. I don't know why. Let me just go to, and let me go to the UUP here for a minute, and let me share something. That's the USO. Let me share something with you here that we may be forming one final top here in the US dollar. Let me share what I mean here. Let me go to a line chart and bring up a line chart on a weekly basis. And as you can see here, right, on a weekly basis, we're getting some form of a price breakout here. If I go back to my daily charts now, you can actually see that there was a lot of resistance around this level through here. In fact, let me just go back to this candlestick chart here for a minute. You can see how there's a lot of resistance through here. We actually broke up through here, but now we're coming back down to final support through here. If we break back below 27, this is on the UUP, the index fund, then we're probably likely to see a lot more downside coming in US dollar. And the way that they're printing money these days, guys, it's going to keep devaluing and devaluing the currency. 0% interest rates can be very, very bullish for gold. Silver, therefore, is likely to have a very explosive move to catch up. So that's very, very exciting when it comes to silver. So the whole thing is this one final top in the market in the US dollar before we actually start to see it continue down from here. So I just wanted to share that with you, what I'm seeing there on a technical basis of what's going on through there when it comes to that. So if you guys got any questions for me, guys, leave them in the chat box. and then I'll be happy to talk to you about it. If you have anything that you want me to look at, or anything, any concerns or anything that's on your mind, let me know, and we can go from there. All right, so let me just get to. Thanks, John, for your videos. They're excellent. No problem. No problem. Always think positive, be grateful is so important and will bring you peace and happiness. Fantastic. Exactly right. Wolf of London trader. Hey, Wolf of London trader. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, overall. The overall thing that I'm seeing right now, guys, in the markets is that we're probably likely to start to see a rally happen over the next week or so. Maybe another one more week of bearishness, or maybe sideways movement, or not much going on. But we'll wait to see the market to tell us that. Silver and gold are starting to really look bullish, especially gold with this false breakout. And therefore, I think silver is going to catch up quite nicely. I think we're going to see exciting moves coming real soon out of the metals. And then also, guys, also come for the GDX and GDXJ as well too. I think there's a lot of stuff that's actually happening through there as well too. So that's what I'm looking at there when it comes to the markets and what's going on right now in the markets there. So with that being said, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys Nathan says, do you think gold will rally into next week? Maybe. I think overall we're going to rally, Nathan, but I don't think that's it may. If we break that resistance level I'm talking about here, so this level through here, if we break this level through here, then we're probably likely to see a very, very nice rally. But we want to see a breaking of this 1640 first. Once that happens, then we're probably likely to see a very nice rally in gold, and then silver's probably going to catch up as well. So I hope that makes sense there. Alrighty, guys, that's it for me today. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next time.